Have you been coping with grief or loss? And, we all understand everyone does that differently, but it's just been a little bit too long for you and maybe too severe. And would it be okay if you were able to remove those feelings around grief and loss and still, still grieve in your own way without that strong feeling? And did you also know that there's side effects, physical symptoms, side effects to people that are grieving? So John and I want to help you with that today. Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Loge. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. I'm in beautiful Victoria, BC, and I'm co-host of the Emotion Code Bros Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. And I am here with John. Good morning, John.
Hello. Yeah, my name's John Inverarity. I'm certified in the Emotion Code and Body Code, and I live in Vancouver, so also on the west coast of Canada. And yeah, great topic today. I got a lot of teaching points here, a lot of examples of how I've helped people with Emotion Code and Body Code. Really looking forward to this. So yeah, if you are grieving, coping with the loss of someone or something, stay tuned. And also, if you're a practitioner, stay tuned as well. So,
Right.
a couple good points here for you. Yeah.
Well, John, some people, I know that you know, some people might not know, I'm mentoring 27 emotion code practitioners right now to build a successful business. I meet them once a month, and this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm going to take this video and we're going to make sure that they're going to see it, because what I'm helping them do is, well, how do you build a business, and how to, and in this case, where do you go with this? Where do you go with this brief? Like, where do you start? What kind of questions are you asking? So definitely going to pull this out and make sure that the practitioners get it. Let's do an early morning, see who joined us already. I got a quick announcement to make. And John, let people know that are watching who are suffering or coping with grief or stress, or maybe have symptoms they know about the grief or stress. Tell them what they need to do to have you or I support them in feeling better today. Go ahead.
Really simple, really easy for you. Just have to be watching live, and you have to volunteer in the comments. So just say, hey, yeah, that's me. Give us an example, some context of what's going on, what you're dealing with, and what kind of symptoms, even, and or who or what, and who, what, where, when, whys. Just a little bit of information. That's it. So watching live and a little bit of context and volunteer in the comments.
That's right. And we're going to help you live today. We're going to do a brief talk about the emotion code, but what we really want to do today is have you have some really awesome results. So if you've been watching, we're on episode 106. So if you're a practitioner, I'd really encourage you to go back and have a Michael and John marathon and see how, see how we work around different subjects and all the different things that the emotion code. I just added a list to my page because people would email me and say, well, would you work on this? And I thought, and then I have it on a document, the one that you and I used at the trade show. And I said, well, it's like a menu. They should have that menu. So I just put it on my website to answer that question. And that's why we do the show. That's why we have different topics almost every week. We repeat some because they're popular and needed. But we want to show you all the different things that we can help people with the emotion. John, I'm going to go first today and say hello to our friend Kim Whitner, who got in nice and early. So good morning, Kim. And our friend Natasha Paula Samuel. As you know, I'm always looking forward to a great show, watching from Romford, Essex. Hashtag Emotion Code Bros. So good morning to Natasha.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Who else here? We have Jennifer Towner here, says good morning.
Hey,
Finally
Jennifer,
able
good
to
morning.
watch live. And Jennifer is from Seattle. Yeah. And also another Jen Kenny Hendry's here, says good morning.
Hey, Jenny Kenny Hendry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's the one with all the N's. Remember last week?
Got me a little excited there. Yeah.
Can I buy an N, please? Yes, there's 4 of them. 2 N's, 2 Y's. I like that. J, K, H. Oh, I could have lots of fun. It's like reading the alphabet and everything. My
Ollie.
friend Kim Whitner would say, I would love to move to Victoria. It is delightful here. You know what? Sometimes it has the nickname of being Canada's gingerbread house place. It is like a big gingerbread house here. All
Yeah,
the
it is.
Victorian buildings. And it's Canada's #2 tourist destination. Did you know that? You know, we're
Yes,
number
I
one.
did.
Yes, this is from an old episode. We've
Yes,
also,
it is.
yeah, #2 is Victoria, and #1 is Well, someone's going to have to guess. Canada's #1 tourist destination. Victoria's #2. On the weekends, we have 3 cruise ships a day, and I live right downtown, so there's lots of people. I am in probably more pictures than I need to be just walking by in front of people's cameras, but it is, and it's a happy place. Everyone's on vacation here.
Yeah,
Not everyone.
absolutely. Oh, it's so beautiful down there in that harbor area there. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Who else?
If I
Holly.
wasn't all wired up, I would show you how beautiful Victoria is, but I've got too many things plugged in.
Okay.
Jen is saying, we are experiencing a 30-degree cool down from yesterday. 30 degrees, that's bizarre. Okay, again, hey, if you're watching us live and you might be suffering or experiencing some grief or loss, maybe around a pet or a friendship, that ended, or someone passed away in your life, or maybe it's an old grief that you've never really healed. And remember, these emotions are unprocessed. So, John, let's talk about that. So, when somebody experiencing grief or loss through a death or a pet or a loved one, or they're having a lot of emotions. And if we're not, and this is Michael Loshi's cartoon head explaining it, if we're not expressing those feelings or getting ticked off or angry or kicking a can, like if we're not trying to get rid of those emotions, guess what? They get lodged inside of us. And we know the expression when we say we hold those feelings in. Well, holding them in creates an unprocessed emotion. John, what are they called?
Trap emotion. And it can be, maybe the size of your fist, maybe smaller, maybe a little bit larger. And, it lodges in your body, it becomes stuck. So it's trapped.
Yes.
It can't get out.
And they're not happy ones.
Yeah.
If they were happy, they wouldn't be trapped. They'd be enjoying it. These are unprocessed negative emotions that are trapped and trying to get out. And you can feel them. They're the size of a baseball, and they're causing your pain, and they're causing your fibromyalgia and your back pain and lower pain and restless legs and puffy feet and bottom of the feet sore and neck pain, shoulder pain. It's unprocessed negative emotions. So let's go back to grieving. There's something that happened in your life. You're having grief or loss, and you didn't process it. And that's not to blame anybody. We all have unprocessed. There's no rule that says you got to do this to process them, right? To get rid of them. So now that unprocessed negative emotion, let's just say it's grief or sorrow or sadness, and now it sits within you, and it starts to be part of your permanent vibration. So let's cue law of attraction. So now you're walking around with unprocessed grief emotions around your heart and your body. You're sending that vibe out, and guess what? Law of attraction, called Captain Obvious to me, is matching the vibration that you're sending, and then you get more of that same grief over and over. That is the cycle. When I send it, I get more of it. When I get more of it, I observe it. In my observation of it, I send, and that whole thing will only stop when we cut the cycle.
Right.
Hashtag, we're the cutters. What we're going to cut out of that cycle is you stop sending that grief. And when sending it, I mean putting it out there. When you stop putting the grief out there, law of attraction can't match it anymore. So we're going to break that cycle of grief with that'll be the benefits of law of attraction. But there's other symptoms. So John, why don't you tell us more about grief and what you've experienced in your practice?
Yeah, different symptoms. In traditional Chinese medicine, grief comes from the lungs. So if you've had like a chronic cough for a really, really long time, it's that could be it. So if that's you, volunteer in the comments. We'd like to look at that. Another really, really important aspect is to look at the adrenal glands. So adrenal glands, when they're functioning optimally, they help us cope, right? So if you're going through really, really stressful time or grief or loss of someone, your adrenal glands are getting taxed. So what I do in my sessions is I'll muscle test your subconscious, how optimally the adrenal glands are functioning. Get a percentage, out of like 1 or 0 to 100, and usually it'll start out pretty low. And clear trap emotions or other imbalances negatively affecting your adrenal glands, get that up so you can cope, in the moment and going forward. And so lungs, adrenal glands. Another thing in the body code, it's called a memory field, and that's the energy of a past memory that's stored in front of you. So it's very similar to a trapped emotion, but it's different. It's a different type of energy. So picture this rain cloud that's in front of you that has all this grief in it, and it's basically raining down, grief and sadness and sorrow on you just all the time. So you're kind of like just walking through this rain cloud, right? So what we do is identify that and put it behind you. So you're no longer kind of like living in the past. So that really, really helps people as well. Yeah, a couple other points here too is like time. And time really, it's not all that important for grief. Like it's in that it can show up even like years later. Even like I find it like a lot 10 years later with people. And I couldn't figure out why. For like the longest time, I was getting the ages around like 36, 37, 38. And people are just like, I have no idea what happened then, no clue. Just like, neither do I. Just cleared it and moved on. And what happened is that, with me personally, I went to the anniversary of a friend's death. And a lot of people die around the age of 27. So 10 years later, you're sort of resurfacing all those emotions of someone passing away, and you're trapping emotions from something that happened, 10 years ago, right? So you're flipping through, the photo albums and all that stuff. Everyone's gathering around, crying, and you're trapping emotions there. So that's what it was. So that age, it doesn't really matter. Simply
The
put.
10-year and the 15-year high school anniversaries or reunions might be triggering some old grief.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, a couple other points here too. Like commonly, symptoms, they don't show up. Like physical symptoms won't show up for like 6 to 8 months. So you're kind of dealing with it. Your adrenal glands are, cranking out, going strong, and then after that timeline, you just crash. You just, can't cope anymore. And very common, people's hair start falling out like 6 months later. And yeah, so that's when, I'll go in, do the session, clear that out, and, get people's hair to, stop falling out. Um, and yeah, just one more thing that you find in a lot of people is like trauma of shock. So as a practitioner, and that's what I look for people, because obviously it's very, very traumatic, and it's not just grief, but it's shock that you've lost, someone in your life. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I know you've been
that's what
working
I
with body
got.
code, emotion code for many years, so you see patterns, right?
Yeah,
After it's,
yeah,
oh, I've noticed this before, and then, that's what we're talking about isn't written down, that's just experience to know kind
yeah,
of where to go and paying attention to patterns in the past.
yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, thank you. So today we're going to work on two people, or I think we'll have you work on somebody, and if we have time, we'll do that, and I'll kind of narrate through, kind of skipping the 7 keys today, but I'll introduce them. So, John, there's a couple people out in the room. Let's go back and say hello, and when you feel drawn to somebody to work with, let me know. But for now, let's talk to and say hello to um, our friend Geeta Sugrim is with us. So good morning, Geeta. Elise Shockey is with us. Good morning, Elise. Corrine Beach Murray, and she's saying grief is related to lungs. And, even on the chart here, Dr. Brad's chart, the grief and is the
Yeah,
organs, the lungs.
yeah, yeah.
And who else
Holly's
is
here
here,
since.
John?
Yeah, Holly's here from Wisconsin, a sweltering hot Wisconsin. Wendy Matthews is here. Hello, bros. Um, yeah, we have Yolanda. Hey guys, I'm glad I found you. Very interested in the heart wall. Yeah, we'll talk about the heart wall later on. Absolutely. Kayla Baruz here says, good morning.
I'm seeing something from Lori Mayo. She's a regular viewer here. So maybe if you want to
Yeah.
with Lori.
Yeah, see some from Karen Linder Trussell as well. Good morning. My dad passed away last November. Have had pain in the left side of my neck, an area he was injured in. Since the time of passing, I think all the emotional stuff between us is lodged in my neck. Yeah, that's interesting. Got Karen there.
So we have a
Kayla.
couple volunteers. So I'm going to work with Lori Mayo, and
Yep.
then you can somebody else that you were saying. So here's what Lori, our friend Lori, is saying. She said, "My mom passed away 3 years ago, and lately I feel like I never released it, and it affects my stomach and breathing." So that's a classic. That's an example, right? Even though she's grieving, now it's affecting some of her body functions. So I'm going to connect
Definitely.
with
Yeah.
Lori. So if you're watching for the very first time, John and I are going to become proxies for two people today. That means on their behalf, we're going to find which of these emotions are unprocessed within our client. And that we're going to be using muscle testing to scan the list. I have a big one behind me. I'm going to scan the list with my muscles and fingers and say, oh, which one is it? When I find it, I'm going to delete it with the magnet. The magnet's stronger than the negative emotion. It'll dilute it and remove it from the client. So I'll start the session. And John, do you know who you're going to queue up with?
I'm still reading comments here, so not yet.
Okay, we'll
A lot
come
of great
back to
comments
John.
here. A lot of people watching
Good.
today.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm just muscle testing right now. I just took some water. So I'm saying, am I hydrated enough? And it's saying yes. Do I need more water? No. Now, as a practitioner, I always like to ask a no question right after I get a yes, because I really want to solidify the strength of my finger. So when I say, so I really want to know that's a true yes. So am I hydrated enough? Do I need more water? Okay, good. My fingers are working. A little tip. I always start with a yes question and then ask a deliberate no question. And then I make sure that my fingers are indeed muscle tested. So right now, I'm still Michael. I'm checking with Lori Mayo. I have her permission. We might have been connected before, but I have Lori's permission. That's one of the keys. It's like I'm connecting to Lori's Wi-Fi, and the password was permission. There. So I'm now connected to Lori's subconscious mind that knows everything. It knows everything. It knows why she's feeling stuff and when it happened and how it happened. And as a practitioner, my job is to know the question, and I can only ask yes or no questions. So I'm just solidifying that I'm Lori Mayo. Yeah. And my conscious mind was telling Michael that my mom passed away 3 years ago, and I still might have some grief left over from that. Is that true? Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being severe, like the highest form, is it my grief a 10? No. Is it a 9, 8? It's an 8. So in my world, that would be severe. So I'm having severe grieving over my mom of an 8, yes. And how many trapped emotions make that up? Over 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the first one is grief. Do I need to know more about this grief? So I just identified it. Now I'm going to delete it. So size of a baseball, I'm deleting grief. Where's the next one? It's confusion. So now I'm deleting confusion. Stubbornness. Now I'm deleting stubbornness. And defensiveness. Now I'm deleting defensiveness. I'm just going to double check. It said 4. I just want to make sure that's still true. Are there any more trapped emotions that are contributing to this grieving? No. But there's another one. There's hidden ones that, Dr. Brad talks about in the book. Are there hidden trapped emotions? Yes. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I wonder if the hidden ones were the same as the trapped ones. I'm just going to go right to that. Let's test my work. Is there hidden confusion? Yes. Is there hidden defensiveness? Yes. Is there hidden grief? Yes. Is there hidden stubbornness? Yes. Okay, doing a couple little extra things there. Now, before today's session, what was the severity of my average everyday grieving, my unprocessed grief of my mom? Was it a 10, 9, 8? Now it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Also, before today's session, what was the severity of my not so perfect breathing? That would be in my head, the air passageways, my nose, all that breathing. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, I can hardly breathe. Well, what was it? Was it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? It was a 5. Now what is the severity of that blocked nasal passage and airway passage? Is it a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0? So was the grief that I got rid of the cause of the breathing because it was trapped in my lungs? Yes. So is there anything else I need to do with my nasal passages, my airway passages? What about my stomach? Before today, he said it affected my stomach. What was the severity that my stomach was affected by this? Was it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5? Now it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Do I need to do any more with this? No? Am I done? Yeah. So let's just recap what that was all about. you know, Lori's subconscious mind knows everything. It's very smart, and you can ask it anything, but you need to be able to ask a yes or no question. And my job is to ask the question to get to the little bugger that's causing the problem. Subconscious mind knows everything, but it can't tell us. It can't say, "Oh, it's grief," because it can only answer. We can only ask it yes or no questions, and that's what my job. I was on the hunt using muscle testing to find out which of these emotions. There's different kinds. I got rid of it, and we're going to hear from Lori shortly. She'll give us an update about any sensations that she might have had. Now, John, you and I use the word sensation to mean opposite of pain.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah,
a
it can be a lot of
tingle?
different
Was
things.
it a little wash? Was it like, their sensation? So, Lori, let me know what you were feeling through that. And John, let's hear from you what you're working on.
Yeah, Karen Linder Trussell says, "Good morning. My dad passed away last November. I've had pain in the left side of my neck, an area he was injured in. So that's really, really interesting. Um, since the time of his passing, I think all the emotional stuff between us is lodged in my neck." And I'd say yes to that as well. So what I'm going to do is just connect up to Karen Linder Trussell right now. And I'm muscle testing with my hands here. They're going to be down on my lap, so you won't be able to see them. But just tune in, connect up. A good connection, proxy. Yep. Okay, so we have pain in neck since dad's passing. Severity at least a 5, yeah. Severity is an 8, I got. So that's quite
John's
high,
muscle
right?
testing right now.
Yeah.
He's finding out the severity of the problem. Now he's going to search using muscle testing which one of these trapped emotions are causing the problem.
Yeah, so I want to check the adrenal glands because I mentioned that before. Functioning optimally, at least 50%. No. So you want to be, 80, 90%, 100%. I mean, that's not going to happen day to day, but below 50% is like, is it 30%? No. So 30% is, Dr. Nelson said that was like the Nelson line for anything, immune system, any organ gland function. Below that, you're just in a tailspin and things are just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. 14% adrenal gland function. Okay, that's just, yeah, life support there. So we're going to get that up. So trapped emotion, creating this neck pain, we can clear to optimize adrenal gland function. Okay, we got B6 right away here. Pride, shame. Shame. Need to know more? No. Don't know what shame's about. Don't need to know. Clear the shame. It's cleared. Yeah.
And also, John, John found something that's in box B6, and it's also attached to the glands. So when you're working with the adrenal glands, that's where it's hanging out there.
Yeah.
Right?
The next one I got bitterness. I have no idea how that's involved, but I'm gonna clear it. It's cleared. Another trapped emotion, creating pain in the neck here. Karen Linder Trussell. Yeah. A5. Fear. So this might be her stuff, it might be her dad's stuff. I don't know. She said it was her dad's stuff. She's probably right. Maybe she took on some bitterness, some fear, some shame from her dad. Maybe it's hers. Maybe. Okay, is that cleared? Yeah, another trapped emotion, creating this neck pain. Yeah. Okay, now we got B4. Place of panic taken for granted. No. So I got all no's. So it doesn't mean it's standard. It means it's absorbed. No. Prenatal? No. It means it's inherited. Frustration. Father's side. Little frustration from dad. So clear that from you, Karen, and all with this. So clear from father as well, wherever he is. And if there's kids that have it, siblings, cleared from them. So yeah, the inherited one's extra special because you can clear it from who knows how many people, dozens, hundreds, thousands, clear all that.
Like about this kind of work, John, doing motion code, body code, is that we never really have to talk about the problem. And this week I had a client where I knew when I uncovered the timing, I knew that he knew that I knew that he knew that I knew. And we didn't have to talk about it. I just cleared the
Yeah,
emotions, and I asked him, after we were done, I said, so tell me, did that make sense? He said, oh yes, you nailed it. And I said, how are you feeling now? He said, I can't believe that the difference I'm feeling. So, and we never have to talk about it. So it's kind of nice too.
yeah. We got another trapped emotion here. Okay, it is also inherited. Is it panic? Inherited panic? Father? Yeah. Their panic.
Good. So
Inherited.
John, while you're working on that list, I want to share a little story with everybody. So I have this client that lives in London, UK, that was flying to Dubai. And right now it's probably like 5 or 6 at night in London, and it's 9:30 here. So we don't have a really long window to work. So last week he sent me, he paid for a session and sent me an email and said, I'm going to be in an airplane flying from London to Dubai. So we booked the appointment time. He said, I can't meet you on that, obviously, but he said, can you still work on the session? And he gave me what he wanted to work on. And I did. When it's appointment came time, I connected with him, probably in a first class plane somewhere between London and Dubai. And I was able to complete an emotion code session. So
Nice.
for all the
Yeah.
people in Victoria think that they need to come to my house to have a session,
No.
hashtag no, you don't.
No. Okay, so adrenal gland function is 90%.
Oh wow,
96,
good work.
94. Yeah, 94%. Severity, pain, it was the left side of the neck. I got 0. Anything hidden? No. Anything in body code? No. Any memory fields? No. Any trauma shock? No. Anything else negativity relate? Is there anything with dad? I got no. I think that's a good spot to just stop there. That's
Yeah, you know what? I love how the
yeah.
subconscious mind can do math, right? Like it's 94%. Is it 95? No, it's 94%. Don't mess with me.
Yeah.
Well, good. We'll hear from her as well. Hey, John, I want to take a minute and well, first acknowledge our 2 volunteers. Let's have you give us any update, any sensations that you're noticing. Let us know. Now, for all you people that are maybe you want to have an emotion code session and you don't know where to get started, well, guess what? I think I might have something. Well, let's see. I'm just going to go find something to share with you. So, John, you can go ahead and read stuff. I'm just getting something set
Yeah.
up.
So Sylvia Bellini is with us today, obviously. Says a couple of weeks ago, you were kind enough to pick me to work on regarding weepiness, crying. I'm pleased to report that apart from when I watched Kylie Minogue at Gattonbury, the weepiness has reduced considerably. There were tears of joy for Kylie.
She will be shocked that you don't even know how to pronounce Kylie Minogue's last name, and she's crying about her, and you don't know who she is.
No clue.
No clue. Okay,
Yeah.
so thanks, John. What I want to do is for all you folks that are interested in having an emotion code session, and guess what? You might not even know where to get started. I get that. And sometimes people will hire me and they say, can you work on my seasonal allergies? And that takes 28 seconds. Now what do? Hashtag, you better bring a list. So I've created the list. You don't have to bring one. And I'm calling it my I don't know where to get started session. And it's also my plan for you to have massive change, just like it says there. Here's what you'll get. There's broken down into 3 areas, your relationships. You will get a full heart wall with you and the world, and with you and each family member or any business partners, for example. I'll completely remove all the heart walls. Yes, I'm going to do that in 5 minutes. Yes, it's possible. Yes, it works. Next, what else about your physical body? I'm going to align your neck and your spine, your shoulders, your hips. You'll be much more flexible, and we will have time for me to work on other body parts that aren't on the list, because even though it says 45 minutes, I've done many of them. They're taking 20 to 25 minutes, and then we have that extra 20 minutes to work on stuff on your list. Now, your mental health, anxiety. Now, I'd love to say anxiety elimination. That's what's happening, but anxiety reduction, stress, negative self-talk, insecurity about taking the next steps. Maybe you got a project or a relationship or a new goal. We all have that. Maybe you're a procrastinator, need creators, writer's block. And on the far left-hand side, 5 specific food or drink items that are your challenge area if you have them. Now, like it says, it's a 45-minute session. It's going to take 20 to 25 minutes for me to do all of that. I'm probably the fastest one of the fastest muscle testers in the world. I'm also one of the fastest figure-outers in the world. Like to hunt on the chart. Hashtag, I can say that. And that's why I can do that in 45 minutes. So I put the link up inside the comment area for those of you that want to commit to a 45-minute session and make massive changes in your life with my list and things that you'll bring. So there, that was the smartest thing I ever did, because now people know what they can get for 45 minutes. Not from everybody, though. They can get it from me. Because what? I'm the fastest muscle tester, one of the fastest muscle testers in the world. There. John,
Great.
Let's see who's saying what in our closing for today, please.
Yeah, Karen Linder saying, thank you, John. Let us know if you've seen some decrease in discomfort, pain there, Karen, in your neck. Yeah, a lot of people watching today. Yeah, so there's volunteers we didn't get to. So, we didn't get to. Definitely consider a session with one of us to get in there and clear out those trapped emotions. Get into the organs, glands. I even do like chakra work as well. There's a lot we can do in one session. I highly recommend it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I think what we demonstrated today, and we do it every week, John, we do it at a distance. We don't need to know the story. We just need to know the symptoms. We can be fast and efficient. You can connect with us via the telephone or a Skype call or a video call. So there's many different ways to do it. You can stay home. Hey, my friend Lori Mayo, who I did a session with today, she said, breathing is easier, especially in the lungs. We love hearing that.
There we go. Yeah. Nice.
Well, good stuff. So we are back next week on the Bro Show, next Saturday. And that's
what are we doing next week?
John, I'm running a metric group. I told you I'm mentoring 27 people. In last month's training, I taught them how to offer this 45-minute package or one similar. And then the only reason that they're able to offer that package that quickly is because I taught them how to do the 5-minute heart wall. If you don't know how to do the 5-minute heart wall, because some people are taking a long time to do a heart wall, they're doing it a traditional way. We are still deleting every heart wall emotion. We're just finding them quicker, still deleting them one at a time. So I'm going to be offering that special training for people inside of my my monthly metric group, package number 1. So stay tuned for that. John, tell people who want to have an appointment with you what is the process? I've never had an appointment before. Who do I call? What do I do? Go ahead. Let them know that, and then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah. So my website is aliveandpeer.com. Michael's at HangoutWithMichael.com. And we have online scheduling. And so you just click on the book a session, set your time zone. Our availability comes up. So you look at your calendar, you match it to ours, you find a time, links up to payment. It all happens in one quick go around, couple minutes. And then once you book your session, your confirmation email will come in. You'll get a reminder right before the session, or 24 hours, or I don't know what you have, but you get a confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, very easy. So what else? Hey, if you have a show topic idea, let us know in the comments. We're on episode 106 today, and there's still much more that we haven't covered. Even though grief is just one word, it plays such a big, a big role for everybody. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Okay, John, thanks for hanging out today. We did a great job. We met our goal today. We helped 2 people. We helped people get more exposure to the wonderful work of the emotion code. And we're connected with some friends. Let's say goodbye to everybody
absolutely.
watching. We'll see you later,
Yeah.
everybody.